guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. If you're old, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Today's video is going to be another care.com video. Since my last care.com video, I didn't expect to make another one. I didn't expect to need another one because I like kind of stopped working with them, I guess. I just didn't really need to, but I'm like, shit, I need some money. So I went back on care.com and I was searching through jobs and I found a job for this lady, and I don't know what to call her. I'm not gonna assign a name to her. Anyway, I applied to her job and basically she's a nurse. So she's gonna work overnight 3 times a week, and in the ad it said $15 an hour for when the boys are awake and a flat rate for when they're sleeping. So I'm thinking, okay, perfect. Like any normal person, I was like, that could be anywhere from like $80 to like $120. You know, like that's like good money. 3 times a week. It's at night. I'm a night person. It'll be out of the way and I know my schedule. So I applied and she actually contacted me and I had an interview. And at the interview, she was like, oh yeah, my boys are so independent. They love outdoors. They love arts and crafts. No. But we'll get into that. And I thought the interview went really well, but I never heard back from her. So I was like, okay, I guess she chose someone else. But I decided to reach out to her and I sent her a message. I was like, hey, so-and-so, thank you so much for the interview. I'm sure you've picked someone else by now. Keep my contact information in case you need a backup sitter, because everyone can use a backup sitter. She ended up messaging me about 2 weeks later. Her original sitter bailed, which now I know why. So she needed someone and I was like, okay, yeah, perfect. I'll be there. And then she also, once I got there, she's like, okay, well, I also need a sitter on Thursday and the following weekend. So I'm like, yes, perfect. I'll be there. You can count on me, whatever. When she leaves, she tells the boys to like be good and listen to me and don't give me trouble at bedtime. And that was some bullshit because they didn't listen to me and they definitely gave me some trouble at bedtime. Throughout the night, it was kind of interesting. Now, I babysit a 3 and a 4-year-old and I literally love them to pieces. Like, I just get along with kids. But these kids, it wasn't there. Like, I just wasn't vibing with them. They were 9 and I think 12 or 11, acted like he was 5, but it's fine. The older one didn't do shit. He like just played on his iPad the whole time and didn't listen to me. And the younger one just wanted to play outside, but it was dark because I got there at like 5:30 in the middle of winter. So that wasn't working. They kind of like argued with everything that I said, which whatever. I think they were just trying to like test their limits, you know, but that was not cool. And we ended up playing a game and the older one was being a fucking cheating ass and telling the little one all my cards, which really made me mad because he wasn't even playing the game. He was just looking over the cards and telling his brother my card numbers. And I was like, you need to sit your ass down and play the game, or you need to just go sit your ass down and play on the iPad. The bedtime is at 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, they're supposed to go upstairs and read for 30 minutes. And they know this. It's something they do with their mom every single night. And then at 8:30, they're supposed to go to bed. 7:55, I tell the younger one, I think the older one is already upstairs. It's like, it's time to go upstairs. You need to brush your teeth and put jammies on. I don't want to go to bed. It's only 7:55. I have 5 more minutes. Literal melt down. And I'm like, you are 9 years old. Like, you need to not act like that. You need to get your ass upstairs and you need to brush your damn nasty ass teeth. That's what you need to do. I didn't say it like that, obviously. I was like, okay, well, you need to go upstairs, you need to brush your teeth, and you need to put jammies on. And by the time you're done with that, it will be 8 o'clock and you need to lay down and read. And he didn't do any of that, obviously. So he went upstairs and he starts drawing for 30 minutes. And I'm like, you need to be reading. He's like, well, I already read today. It's like, well, that's not what your mom told me. He's like, nope, I already read today, so I'm not reading anymore. And then he like is just like coloring in his freaking lined notebook. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with you because obviously like you're not good kid. So 8:30 rolls around and the older one is upstairs just like walking around, which I know he's not supposed to be doing, but it's fine, whatever. He clearly is doing whatever he wants, so that's great. I go into the room at 8:30. I was like, it's time to lay down, you need to go to sleep. So I go to turn off the light and the older one, who is 12 years old, is crying because I turned off the light. He's all, it's too dark, I'm scared of the dark. And I'm like, okay. The light has a dimmer, so I dim it to like an appropriate amount to where like it's not completely dark. And no, they want it dimmed to where the light is literally still on, it's just barely barely dark. And I'm like, they're fucking with me. Like, this isn't real. Like, their mom doesn't let them do this. Because the light was on and they're sleeping. Like, the light was literally on. I would insert the picture, but I'm not trying to get sued. The light was on. It was clear as day in there. So I sent a picture to their mom and they're like, yeah, we sleep with the light on because they're scared of the dark. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So it's fine. In the morning, I wake them up at 6:30 and then I have to drop them off at 2 different schools, which was fine because at this moment in my head, I was being compensated fairly well. So I dropped them off and I'm done at 7:45. So I'm there for like 14 and a half hours. I'm there. And I was supposed to babysit on Thursday. So I'm getting ready to babysit on Thursday because I'm gonna leave in a couple hours. And she texted me and she said they had a family emergency, which she told me that was gonna happen because someone had passed away. She said they were very sick. She's like, so I'm not gonna need you today or next weekend when we had originally planned. So I'm like, okay. So she's all, what's your Venmo so I can pay you? And so I gave her my Venmo and she paid me $60 for 14 hours. Now, at the interview, I asked her how much the flat rate was, and she said, oh, it works out to $60. And I'm thinking, okay, that makes sense because most people will do like half. So if you make $15 an hour, it'd be $7.50 for while they're asleep and they slept for like, what, 10 hours or something? So that's $75. So I'm like, okay, $60, it's a little less, whatever, like that's fair, plus $15 an hour while they're awake. They were awake from 5:30 to 9:30, and then an hour of me picking them up or dropping them off at 2 different schools. So that's 5 hours. So that would be $75. So it'd be $75. So we're looking at, it should be, if we're doing this correctly, $150, right? Yeah. So it should be a total of $150 per night. I was expecting more towards $120 per night because that makes sense if someone's watching your kids for 14 hours and like dedicating 14 hours of their 24-hour day or whatever, they should be compensated for that. She paid me $60 and I'm like, okay, well, there's clearly some miscommunication between the two of us. So I knew she had a family emergency, so I was like, hey, I'm just gonna wait. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's just another $60. I'm gonna wait until she gets back and I'll text her. And I was like discussing with my like family and I decided to, instead of waiting till she texted me, I texted her instead of waiting for her to text me because I didn't want her to desperately need a sitter and be tied into that situation. So I wanted to text her just to make sure everything was lined up and squared away by the time she actually needed someone to babysit her kid. And it was very well thought out. Let me read you what it says. Okay, I'm gonna be looking at my phone for this little segment. I deleted the conversation just because I was scared that I was gonna accidentally text her because I was pissed off. Okay, so it says, hi, so-and-so. Hope you and the boys had a safe and easy return home. Just reaching out because I believe I may have misunderstood the pay. In the ad, I believe it said $15 an hour while the boys are awake and a flat rate for when the boys are sleeping. When we discussed the pay at the interview, I thought the flat rate was $60. So therefore it'd be around $120 per night, which is pretty fair pricing because it is fucking fair pricing. The job is quite a bit of commitment, therefore I won't be able to do it for $60 because it's 3 nights a week plus every other weekend. So it would be just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday for that weekend. She's a nurse, so I can't just like call out or like be sick or whatever. Like, I'd have to be committed to her. Not only that, I was there for 14 hours. I'm definitely willing to be flexible with the 120 and we can negotiate something that works for both of us, but if it's simply not feasible, I'll gladly sit for you until you find someone right for the job. No pressure to respond right away. I know things of this nature can be tricky. Have a good night. And so I texted her that around 5 or maybe 6, and she responded at 8 and she said, this is what she starts out with. She doesn't say hi, she didn't say anything. This is what she starts out with. The rate was a flat rate of $60 per night total. It was factored by $15 an hour for an average of 3 hours and $15 for the overnight portion while they're sleeping. I found someone who is willing to babysit for $60. I'm unwilling to pay more than that because of the minimal work required and can't afford to pay more than that as a single mom. Well, I feel sorry for the person getting screwed, first of all. Like, good luck to you. Second of all, specifically at the interview, she was like, my kids are so low maintenance, blah, blah, blah. They already know how to do anything. You don't even have to instruct them. Bitch, what are you talking about? It's funny how like some people just have no perception of their children and just like think the world of them, and when they're like the complete opposite. But to that I just said, okay, best of luck with a smiley face, because I'm not in the mood for getting sassy. I felt like her message was a little defensive, but that's okay. More people pay more money than that for less amount of hours, but it's fine. I'm not gonna mention that. I'm just gonna go my happy way. Did I mention that I had to drop her kids off at 2 different schools in the morning? I mean, they weren't that far apart, but that's still like ridiculous. So, I mean, good luck to her. Good luck to her life. I just thought it was an interesting predicament that I had been in. Been like a waste of time. $180 a week for 14 times 3. 42 hours a week. What time is it? Yeah, 42 hours a week. And then if she got a new job, this was something she said at the interview, if she got a new job, then it would be 4 days a week for the same pay. So that bumps you up to 56 hours in a week for $180. That's not gonna work for me. But good luck to her. Good luck to her new sitter. If you guys have any crazy stories, this one's not even that crazy. I'm just like irritated by it, and you know me, I'm just out here telling all my stories about bitches that make me mad. Make sure you leave them down below. I know I wouldn't say a lot of subscribers, but I'm sure my other care.com video got some, like, provided me some exposure. So leave a comment down below if you came from my old care.com video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.